Schubert was always a composer I was most drawn to since I was a young child. My mother used to listen to classical music at home pretty much all the time, and one of her favorite LPs was the Impromptus by Schubert, and I remember immediately being drawn in by the music. It just felt like coming home to me. The music I found to be so descriptive. It just really spoke to me. There was a story there that sounded oddly familiar, yet it was strangely comforting to me. So the first Schubert piece I ever played, I must have been 12 or so, was the C minor Impromptu, Opus 90. My teacher assigned it to me, and like my teacher, it was a very, very serious piece. To me, Schubert has this magical way of making the listener feel as if time just stops. Time just stands still. And one of the ways he accomplishes this is through his usage of rests. These rests are sometimes overlooked because they're just spaces between the notes, right? But in Schubert, these rests are actually silences. And sometimes these silences can sound louder than the music itself. They feel like passageway into another world. In his last sonatas, Schubert uses the same venerable sonata form that Beethoven and his contemporaries used, but Schubert extends it, superimposes it, so the music is now barely contained by this form, and as if it's trying to break loose or break free from this form. In these last sonatas, Schubert transports us to a place that is somewhere between dream and reality. He wrote these works just a few weeks before his death, and death was really, really close now, and he provides us with this glimpse into his inner world, and it sounds like a very frightening place to be. I feel that death actually plays a central role in the C minor sonata, the D958, and it's a feeling that prevails through the sonata. It's something that is introduced in the first movement, although in a more veiled manner. There is this demonic, dark presence, but in the first movement it's sort of hidden from plain view. It's not until the last movement, though, that all hell breaks loose, and this demonic presence is now in full display. It's important to mention that Schubert uses C minor here as a setting for the sonata. And it's impossible to not bring up C minor without talking about Beethoven's Pathétique, his third piano concerto, and of course the 32 variations. And I bring up the 32 variations because they serve as inspiration to this sonata. But Schubert takes this key even further. And the way he uses C minor and its very specific inflection or dialect is even more mythical and more fatalistic than Beethoven. And in this way, I feel like he surpasses Beethoven.